So this is the assembly video for Come to the Table. We've got the tabletop, the table base, we'll call that the cylinder, and then these are the 4 lights that are going to go into these 4 holes that we'll cover a little bit later. This is the motor that's going to be spinning this cylinder, and we've got the chairs that so the base is where we'll start. So this is a powered table, so it has a cord that goes through the table base. Depending on where this is going to be on your floor, you might want to change the length of this cord. For this video, we're just going to have this short cord because we've got a plug right here. But if you need to extend it, you can kind of shimmy this cord through here and pull it out, and so you can extend.
And we should also mention too that it is possible that if you don't have an outlet on the floor, you can very easily lengthen the cord so that a low outlet on a wall, it could plug in and just be a little bit removed from the wall. But we're going to do it as here in the center of the floor.
So the first step is to get the table on top of the tabletop. So there's, just so the screw holes line up, I've labeled A, B, C, and D. And then there's a corresponding A, B, C, D they're written on the bottom of these. So this one is D, C, B, A. So let's orient the table with 2 people is best for this job.
Before we do you want to point out a few other things for the underneath?
Sure. So on the underneath side of the table, a few wires there, but you don't have to really worry about any of this. The main part is the power supply that basically converts wall power to 12 volts. And then there's 2 switches that turn power on later. So to connect the base to the power supply, there's 3 wires. There's your black wire, your white wire, and your green wire. And they're going to go into basically the top 3 terminals on the power supply. So there's like 7 terminals. The top 3 I've labeled. So the top one's going to be black, the second to top is going to be white, and the third is going to be green, which is ground. So
and then also, while we're showing some of the things on the back side too, the lights won't be put in until later once the table's on the top, but I'm just going to show here that this connects, and it doesn't matter which light goes where, this just connects right there, and there are 4 lights, so 4 of these will make connections.
And for the power supply, we'll just connect this right now. So basically you just need a screwdriver and just follow the directions for how to do this. So these little U's kind of slide into this slot. And you tighten it down. And then white goes next. So, all right, we're going to put D over there and B over here. And just be careful to not hit the power supply. It should be pretty centered. You don't have to get it perfect, but once you get it on, it'll be fine, and then you can kind of come underneath and just orient the table so the screw holes line up with the holes. Somewhere like that. And then you've got screws, and you can just start screwing them in. So once you're done screwing in the table, you're probably going to have some extra cord. So one thing you can do with it to kind of just hide it up here, you can tuck it in so that it doesn't hang too low. And you can kind of make that up as you go. So there's a little connector here that is going to connect to the motor through one of these holes. So the motor will go on the top and connect through here, so we'll cover that in a second. So once you got your table secured, you take the motor, and this can really only go one way. So there's 4 magnets on here, and there's 4 magnets on here, so it'll self-align. So you could kind of go softly, but you'll hear it click. And then you take this barrel connector and connect it. You actually have to kind of connect it from the bottom. So you put this through and then connect it from the bottom. There you go. And now everything else is going to be done from the top of the table. You've got the 4 lights. You can kind of just, they're going to free float in here. And just make sure to connect them to all the barrel connectors underneath the table so they have power.
All right, now I'd like to point out that we can actually lift up each of these lights. It should be angled from the corner of the table, projecting towards the print.
So there should be 1 green, 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 white. And we'll put the chairs around. 4 sides. And then under one of the sides, there's 2 switches. And this way you can turn the lights on without the motor, and then you can turn the motor on independently. But basically you should align your lights so that about the top of the light hits the top of the print. So you try to get as much exposure as you can. Yeah, the brightest part should be in about the center of this print. And when you're ready, you can turn on the motor as well, and it'll spin.